Today we have with us Michelle Ressa-Aventajado. She's a teacher by trade. She graduated from the State University of New York and she is now a mother of 4. Has a blog called Momma in Manila and a kids yoga teacher as well. She also has been featured in Smart Parenting, and Michelle is here to tell us about her story, her journey, and the challenges that she faces as a mother. Good morning, Michelle.
Morning, Claire.
And thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us, you have 4 kids.
I do. 4.
Yes.
5 if you count my husband.
Right.
I always say he's my eldest. But Gia is 14, Miguel is 12, Diego is 8, and Evangelina, Jelly, is 2. She's 2.5.
4 kids, so it must be a handful at home.
It is. It's a balancing act,
right,
for sure.
With everything that you do. And I know that you have a very interesting story. You know, after the delivery, after you delivered your 4th child, your 4th baby, and can you take us through that day? There was something very different from this delivery compared to the past 3 that you've had. Can you take us through that day?
Sure. Actually, it was a great day. My contractions were progressing very, very much the same way they did with the other kids. However, when Jelly was born, I could tell right away there was something different about her because of her eyes. And after she was born, she was whisked away because we were told there might be a chance she would have duodenal atresia. And there's no way to tell that until the baby's born. They detected what they thought it was in utero. So we were aware that there might be an issue with her digestive system. But when she was born, after some time, they told us that she had Down syndrome, that she had markers for Down syndrome.
Okay. And how did you feel when you first found out that Jelly had Down syndrome?
I was devastated. I felt guilty. I thought maybe, you know, I'm a teacher and I know what causes Down syndrome. So I know that it happens at conception. I know that it's not caused by anything you drink or you eat or falling. I know that it's just like hitting the lottery. You have a child with Down syndrome, or it's not something you can bring upon yourself or your baby. But for that split second, the moment that the doctor told me, I suddenly felt like maybe it was something I did. And I had to go through it. But when I was able to compose myself, I said, okay, now we have to address the situation. Like, I want to know what we have to do next. Because, okay, she has Down syndrome, but because they whisked her away, and they told us that she did in fact have duodenal atresia. So it was hard. My husband was super strong. You know, he said, we could do this. And I questioned my faith. I was brought to my knees on my feet. So.
You did?
Yeah.
And how did you pick yourself back up from there? Because I know you're a very strong woman.
Yeah, absolutely. It was my kids, actually. You know, my kids, when they first met her, they said, oh my God, she's so cute, Mom. She's cute as a button. And my daughter said, she's so pretty. She's so beautiful. Mom, when can we take her home? Even my youngest at that time, well, before Jelly was born, Diego said, let's go, Mom. Are we going to go now? He was excited to leave the hospital because he wanted to take her home. You know, my kids were so excited for a baby sister. My boys even researched how to change a diaper on YouTube because they wanted to be ready just in case. You know, they had to step in because they know, you know, we weren't going to have a yaya for her initially. I'm very hands-on with my kids. And so they said that they wanted to help. So they reminded me what it's all about and that, you know what, she is beautiful. And because of that, I fell in love with all 3 of them again. I saw them in a different light.
And Jelly, right now, she's 2 years old.
Yeah, she's 2.5.
2.5. And I know that originally her real name is Evangelina.
Yes.
And there's a story behind that name as well.
Yes. Well, we all were very active in selecting a name for her. My husband and I would ask the kids, okay, so what do you want to name your baby sister? And when we knew it was a girl. So they were coming up with a bunch of different names. But the names that stuck were Angelina, Evangeline, and Diego, for some reason, felt he wanted to name her Jelly Bean.
Like the jelly bean.
Like a jelly bean. And when she was born, we were so, we were just so with the news and being shocked and kind of overwhelmed. Originally, we were kind of leaning towards Angelina, and after she was born, Evangeline means God's gift. And we figured that we would combine the Angelina with the A and Evangeline and call her Evangelina, because she really, at that point, we realized what a gift she was to us. And part of that came from the fact that once the dust settled and we were able to digest the information we were being given, we realized how special she was.
Right.
Not just for us, but for the whole family.
And I know that Michelle, she was not only diagnosed with Down syndrome, but she was also, she had to go through a heart surgery right after your delivery at the hospital.
Yes.
So can you take us through what happened there?
Yeah, absolutely. Within hours of her being born, they confirmed that there was duodenal atresia. Duodenal atresia is where the duodenum, which connects from the stomach to the small intestine, it's blocked somehow. And for her, it was a partial blockage. Actually, we were very lucky that it was just a partial blockage, because it was easier. The pregnancy was easier for me. And the doctor said that we have to operate, because if we don't, she won't be able to eat. And within 18 hours, she was having, her heart was being examined to see if she could survive the surgery, because many children sometimes with Down syndrome are born with heart problems. When they okayed her heart, they said we have to operate right away. So before she was even 24 hours old, she was whisked into the operating room. And that was difficult, because for us, all of a sudden we were thinking we have to have her baptized before she goes in. God forbid anything happens. This is a surgery, and although we didn't know so much about the surgery, or we didn't know what to expect, we were just thinking, oh my God, my baby's going into surgery, into the OR, and she's not even a day old. So we were scared, really scared.
But thankfully, the operation went well.
It was fantastic, actually. The surgeon came out. I was being wheeled into the room waiting for the results, or for the surgeon to come out, and he was kind of giggly. He was so funny. He was like, ha ha ha, it was just a partial blockage. And so I was actually, oh my gosh, for him to come out that happy. It was a successful surgery. Everything went well, and it was. Everything went well. Within 9 days, she was eating. She was breastfeeding, so I was able to breastfeed her. So it was very successful, and thankfully she hasn't had any problems with that, or her digestive system. Yeah.
Great. And now she's home with you guys, and and everyone's happy. And I know that also that I just wanted to ask you too, that how has this whole experience changed you as a person and as a mother?
I've always said that my children are my greatest teachers. I am a teacher by trade, so I know that in that relationship, sometimes it's blurred. You don't necessarily know who the teacher is or who the student is. And if all of my children are my teachers, Jelly is definitely my greatest teacher. She has, she's shown me more about myself than maybe sometimes I'm even prepared to look at. No? She's shown me a lot about the world. and how kind people can be. She's shown me a lot about my husband, because through that time, he was my rock. When I couldn't hold it together, he did. And, you know, she's also taught me if I'm a yoga teacher and I try to live in the moment, which sometimes can be challenging for moms or for anyone really. I mean, you're always constantly making these lists, thinking of the next thing you have to do. With Jelly, I am in the moment. I'm in the moment, I'm in the, not necessarily just the milestone, but she's taught me a lot about, you know, not to sweat the small stuff, like that kind of mindset where, oh, it'll be okay. Not to say I'm more of a lackadaisical parent now, but definitely the bigger picture. And she's helped me see that in a completely positive way and taught me to be really grateful. You know, a lot of things before I took for granted. You know, parents of difficult kids, I never thought when I was raising my other 3 kids how their balance or how them sitting up or how them having tummy time would affect how they walk months later. And these are things that I learned with Jelly. Like, you know, yeah, everything's building. We build on every skill or every milestone that she achieves. And it's a process.
Yes. Well, Jelly is truly a blessing. And, you know, you truly are gifted by God. And I just want to, you know, for those who are not familiar with Down syndrome, maybe we can just give them a better picture, a better idea of what it is. And also if there are advocacies out there or in the Philippines where they can be more involved.
Yes. So Down syndrome is also known as trisomy 21. And the reason why it's called trisomy 21 is we have, typical people have 46 chromosomes. And we get 23 from our mom and 23 from our dad. People with Down syndrome have 47. And the reason why it's trisomy 21 is that on the 21st pair, oh sorry, we have 46 pairs. The 21st set, you'll have 3 instead of 2. And it's a genetic variation that just occurs at conception. There's no, like you're not at a higher, there's no higher, you're not at a higher risk to have a child with Down syndrome. Nothing, like it crosses all nationalities, it crosses all ages. You know, if you're 21 and you're pregnant, you can have a child with Down syndrome. If you're 40, you can have a child with Down syndrome. It doesn't, it's not specific to one age or specific to one nationality. And the statistics run anywhere from 1 in 800 children, or 1, I've seen as high as 1 in 1,000. I've seen also 1 in 900. I think it's somewhere in between.
Right. So it's very rare. It is very. It's very rare compared to, let's say, autism, which is.
Yeah, autism actually
more prevalent in many countries.
Yes, yes.
So in the Philippines, is there an organization for Down syndrome if, let's say, there are families or parents out there that want to be involved?
There is, and it was pivotal in helping me and my husband understand that we're not alone, and in kind of understanding how we can go about raising our child that had special needs that we weren't familiar with before. The organization is called the Down Syndrome Association of the Philippines.
Okay.
So it's DSAPI.
DSAPI.
Better known as DSAPI.
DSAPI, okay. And I know that there's an event coming up this March?
Yeah.
I believe, okay.
March 21 or 3/21.
Okay.
Trisomy 21.
Okay.
March 21 is World Down Syndrome Day.
Okay.
So it's a celebration for us, just as much as February actually in the Philippines here is Down Syndrome Consciousness Month. And the entire month of February we had activities for families, for the children, to bring awareness and to educate people about our children so that you know, we want a more inclusive culture, society. We want our children to be seen, you know, see the child first and not the disability.
Well,
So,
Michelle, you know, what a great story, and thank you so much for sharing that with us this morning.
thank you, thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks
Michelle.
for having me.
And we're taking a short break. More of this morning's headlines next. You're still watching Daybreak on the Solar News Channel.